It's a bright and sunny Sunday afternoon, and it's just about 3 o'clock here in Jamaica. We're coming to you from the capital city, Kingston, more specifically from the National Stadium live. It's the final day of the Concacaf Caribbean Women's Football Qualifiers. And what we have on the plate at the moment is Bermuda versus Trinidad and Tobago. One coming off a blockbuster of a game on Friday night against their Caribbean rivals, having taken a 1-0 lead at the break. They thought the Jamaicans come flying back in the second half, and they were soundly beaten in the end by 4-1. All they need, though, today is a draw to make sure that they make it to the USA in October for the Concacaf final round. And we're talking about the team that's operating in white to the right of screen, the Trinidad and Tobago team. On the opposite side of the fence, in the blue corner, if you like, the Bermudans. They're coming fresh from a 5-0 beating down of Antigua and Barbuda, and they've given themselves a chance. A win for them today will take them into the final hours of the final day of the qualifier. Anything but. They're heading back to Hamilton as just participants, and Trinidad and Tobago and Cuba will go through without even kicking a ball later against Jamaica. Let's now pause for the national anthem. National anthem of Bermuda. Remain for the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. So there you have it, the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. We remind you they need only a draw. They have 6 points from their 3 games. Their only blemish coming against Jamaica on Friday night inside the National Stadium in front of a decent-sized crowd, comparatively speaking. And the Bermudans on the same day, maybe 2 or 3 hours earlier, had defeated the Antigua and Barbuda team by 5-0. So again, Trinidad needs only a draw. Now, if they get the draw today, then it would also eliminate Bermuda and make the Cuba team advancing as well. Cuba against Jamaica a little later. We're looking at the Bermuda starting lineup, and they've made all of 5 changes, including bringing back that outstanding goalkeeper, Mika Pond, and the top 3 there are all returning to the starting lineup, including the number 9 and the number 14. They're also coming back. That's Deshe Darrell, and of course Thea Lindo, who got goals on a Friday night here at the stadium. And for Trinidad and Tobago, of course, the pre-game formalities are still taking place. Aaron King has the captain's armband for Trinidad and Tobago, and if you were watching our live coverage on Friday, you would have noticed that the Trinidad and Tobago regular team captain, Natasha St. Louis, was taken off after a bad injury. She's recovered well enough, but she's starting from the bench today, hence Aaron King wearing the captain's armband as well. So the officials are there. They're supposed to be well-known people now because they've been working all week in all the games. Different roles they've played. Some referees, assistant referees, and fourth officials, and so on. So the Trinidad and Tobago team, they have 3 changes, and 2 of those, Janelle Cunningham, whose neck was placed in a brace on the field on Friday night after that clash with her goalkeeper, Kimika Forbes. In fact, Forbes is one of those who has been sacrificed. She's on the bench, and in comes Sandra Barron, who will be keeping for Trinidad and Tobago. So if you look at the Trinidad and Tobago team in particular on the bench, you see a number of the starters who would normally get in, they're on the bench today. And for Bermuda, there are one or two who have started in the tournament so far and who have been relegated to the bench today. But they're all hoping so that at some point during the game, their names will be called. All of them can't get on because each team is allowed 3 substitutions. You're looking there at the top striker in the competition, the joint top striker, and of course she's joint top scorer with Khadija Shaw from Jamaica. So we're just seconds away from the penultimate game in the Concacaf Caribbean Women's Qualifiers, Trinidad and Tobago against Bermuda. Bermuda in blue, and Trinidad and Tobago will get us on the way in their full white strip. That's Kayla Taylor. So referee from Guyana, Reese Keat, blows the whistle, and we're on the way with Trinidad and Tobago in possession under very, 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 very warm conditions at the moment. It's bright and sunny. It's just about 7 minutes past the 3 local time. And we had some rain yesterday, but it has done very little to keep down the temperatures, if you like, coming into today. And they expect it to become a little cooler, maybe just around 5 o'clock thereabout, advancing into the evening hour when the Jamaicans will come alive against Cuba. And that game is set to kick off at 6 o'clock local time, 7 o'clock in the Eastern Caribbean. So Trinidad and Tobago, very disciplined, got their tactic spot on in that game against Jamaica on Friday night. But in the second half, they fell away, and the Jamaicans took advantage and went on to win by 4-1 and booked their spot as a result in the USA. So one of the 2 spots have already been taken. And when we kicked off here last week, Saturday, not many people expected us to come into the final day still not knowing. Have a look at this. That's Jeanine Francois from Trinidad and Tobago. They're coming together there with Trine Edwards, and the free kick won by Trinidad and Tobago. It's the outstanding corner. Bermuda show that they have what it takes to be competitive. That resounding victory over Antigua and Barbuda on Friday showed off a lot of stuff that we didn't see in their previous 2 games. They've given themselves a lifeline. Their destiny is not in their hands at the moment, because even if they win, they will just have to wait until the final game tonight between Jamaica and Cuba to determine whether they go through on goal difference, because that's the only thing they can go through on, nothing else, because they can't surpass Trinidad, they can't surpass Cuba as far as points are concerned. So they have to depend on goal difference so to do. And that is why Trinidad and Tobago need only a draw. They too have 6 points, and they need only a draw. And if they do, they will carry Cuba with them and eliminate the Bermuda team. Here's Francois. Had a chance. The referee's whistle intervened. Francois is judged to have impeded the progress of Mika Pond in the Bermuda goal. She was given a break on Friday. Let's have a look at it again, judge for yourself. Here's Francois. Yeah, her elbow was in the face of the goalkeeper as well. So early days yet in this game has a great deal of implications on the final game, and ultimately the remaining 2 qualifiers who will head over to the USA in October to battle for 3 spots automatically to France 2019. There's also a half spot when you get to the Concacaf qualifiers, where I think the 4th team will take on Argentina or the qualifier from that region. Here's a little danger for Trinidad and Tobago. Needs only a sniff. She dips in and out of games. But guess what? When she dips in big and to deadly effect, as we saw against Cuba in the opening game, a hat-trick, as we saw against Antigua and Barbuda, a double, and as we saw against Jamaica on Friday, a brilliant goal. So Trinidad and Tobago made 1 or 2 advances into the Bermuda half of the field. In fact, inside the Bermuda 18-yard area. And they're operating with the same front two. Taylor played pretty much as a lone striker on Friday night. And with Cardinal and Francois just dipping in behind her. Today, they're more playing as strike partners and Cardinal trying to get through there. Trinidad and Tobago. First touch, not the greatest from Forbes, Karen Forbes. She's had a good tournament. And because of the very hot conditions prevailing, you want to get the impression that the players, in addition to wanting to make sure that they keep their powder dry, they also try to pace themselves and don't go for it hell for leather. The specialist in long passes, Forbes. This time, she was trying to pick out Leanna Hines. Hines didn't have the legs to get there. The battle is on for possession. It's a Bermuda throw? No, it's a Trinidad and Tobago throw, says referee Skeet. Patrice Superville will have the throw for Trinidad and Tobago. Bright pink boots, shining in the Sunday afternoon conditions. Wonderfully run by Bermuda. And Trinidad and Tobago's goalkeeper, Zandra Varon, left her line very, very quickly. Very important that even when the goalkeepers are not on the football, they follow the play. And that's what Baron did. Keep in touch with what's going on. Just never know when a long ball may come into your area. And the difference could be between you leaving your line a second late. Taylor. Good interception there from Marley Christian, the captain who was rested for the game against Antigua and Barbuda. Didn't see action in that game at all. Maybe they had this crunch game against Trinidad and Tobago already on their minds. They quickly wrapped up that game against Antigua Barbuda. It was very impressive in so doing. Here's Bermuda coming forward. That's Ferbert, who got the opening goal on Friday against Antigua and Barbuda, just trying to prise open the Trinidad and Tobago defense. Nia Christopher, who also got on the score sheet on Friday night, was the target. Suddenly, Trinidad and Tobago is on the attack. Efficiently dealt with there by Dale, Kiona Dale. Wonderful run here, but again by Ron, taking charge of that 18-yard area. And the immediate yards around it. So Bermuda, sure they know exactly what they need to do. Approaching this game with a great deal of gusto. Just now Tasne Fubla almost falling over. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Welcome to our coverage of Concacaf Caribbean Women's Football Qualifiers. Still waiting on the opening goal after 8 minutes in this game. Route 1 football. And the intention of the Bermuda team is very, very clear. The moment they get it, they want to let fly one of their strikers. With Nia Christopher or Kayla Ferbert. There's also Darrell. So they've gone with all their big name strikers for this one because they need goals. But more importantly, they need the win. They must win. Anything else, they're out. The math is very simple. Trinidad and Tobago here defending. This is Frazzoni. She's kept the captain's. Well, she was the captain on Friday night, in the absence of Marley Christian. Referee says play on. Nia Christopher trying to put a bit of pressure on Aaron King. King has been wonderful. Probably the defender of the tournament, Aaron King. Could also make a good case for Connie Plummer, the Jamaican captain who also plays at the heart of their defense. But Aaron King has been just wonderful in this tournament. Christopher plays it off. Trina Edwards. King again. She commands that 18-yard area, Aaron King. And she's a bright spark as well. Very alert. I think you could make a very good and easy case for her being the defender of the tournament. Edwards flicking the ball forward. Staying with the play that time. Taya Lindo. Now she tries to close down the Trinidad and Tobago team, unable to do so. And Superville takes it and sends it one time. Wow. Very good interception there by Fubler. That one was heading for a corner, and you know what she can do when she gets away. Overhit that time. The pass to Lindo. So Bermuda clearly playing with a plan. Strike them forward. That's a Kayla Ferbert wearing a number 7 shirt. Made famous by so many players. The latest to wear that number 7 shirt, Cristiano Ronaldo, now at Juventus, and he's kept that number. He was at Real Madrid, the number 7. Manchester United, the number 7. And before that, in Madeira, where he was born, here's Taylor. Still Taylor, chance for Trinidad and Tobago to take the lead. And not only that, Trinidad and Tobago takes the lead, but Taylor takes the lead in the goal-scoring chart as well. Her 7th of the campaign. She's just a very, very dangerous striker that must not be left alone. And just now, she outsmarted the Bermudan defense and put Trinidad and Tobago in the lead on 12 minutes. How many times we've said this? The goal scorer is Kayla Taylor. So it's become a lot more difficult for Bermuda. Let's have a look at this one. It was a defensive mix-up here, but Taylor is such a brilliant little player in around that 18-yard area. Anything, and she'll punish you. And just now, Waldron made a real meal of that attempt to get the ball away. And Taylor, you just do not give her a sniff. She'll punish you. And just now, Bermuda was punished. It's become more difficult for them now because they need a win. But if a goal has ever been important to a team, then this is the moment. They must get back and get back very, very quickly. For the start of the game, if you had selected someone to score first in this game, I think most, if not all, bets would be on that little number 12 out of Trinidad and Tobago. Taylor Kayla. Definite candidate for player of the tournament. Here's King. Coming away calmly for Trinidad and Tobago. Picks out Cordner. This is your goal scorer. Not only in this game, but in every game that she has played in. A chance for Trinidad to take a 2-0 lead. It does seem as if they're on target in doing so. And the left upright intervenes. The ball is still alive. So Bermuda all over the shop. They conceded on minute number 12 and came very close to doing so again on minute number 14. You see, they've gone forward a lot because they're chasing goals and they're leaving holes right throughout the team, because Trinidad and Tobago have taken control of that crucial midfield area as well. And they've made 1 or 2 dangerous forays into their 18-yard area, one of which produced a goal and threatened to do so again just a couple of seconds ago. So Bermuda, they've got to mix proper defense whilst they go for the goals. And this is what this kind of pressure does to you. You're caught in two minds. Do we go for it? But if you do go for it, you're going to leave gaps in the back. And the Trinidad and Tobago team has a number of players who are capable of exploiting it. And here is Francois! Almost trickled close to the corner flag. Superville was going through the back of Lindo. 7 goals in the tournament for this lady. Look at this. It was Cordner who played her in. Waldron lost sight of the ball, not Taylor. She doesn't. She does no such thing. And that left foot of hers has brought her joy and her team closer to the USA in October for a chance to battle for that all-important spot in France at the World Cup 2019. Jamaica is already in the Concacaf final round. This is an opportunity that Cordner got. Just coming back off the left upright. She missed a host of chances when they played Antigua and Barbuda. Easily could have gotten 5 goals for herself. In the end, she got 1. Free kick by the Bermuda team. And the low grounder. Not a bad attempt. But lining up right behind it is Zondra Barron in goal for Trinidad and Tobago. We did see Taylor Lindo scoring a clever free kick against Antigua and Barbuda on Friday. The wall went up and she kicked under the feet of the players and it rolled all the way into the back of the net. Saw Lionel Messi did something like that earlier this season. Cordner and Taylor worked so well together. It's a deadly combination. And a header there from Hines. Almost like half-hearted. Didn't go in with the kind of commitment, but then again, there's an outstretched leg from one of the Bermudan players right there. She was thrown off there by Trina Edwards. Superville with a super clearance. The Bermudans will settle for the throw. But I'm sure every time one of these Bermudan players run by the bench, they probably would hear in their ears from coach Nikita Robinson, who's standing right at the top of her technical area. Remember, girls, we need a win. Not that they need to be reminded, because the permutations are clear coming in. Here is Trinidad and Tobago. This is Francois. Just as she was about to strike it, Lindo intervened. Unfairly so, says referee Skeet. And Trinidad and Tobago has a free kick just about 2 or 3 yards from the top of the D. And this is how the free kick came about. Lindo coming from behind Francois, who was about to pull the trigger. And Francois still suffering a bit of a pain from that knock. I'm sure she's going to walk that off before too long. Standing behind us, no surprise, Karen Forbes, the little powerhouse of a player for Trinidad and Tobago with these long-range passes. And she'll be hoping to pass one into the back of this net. Pond. Forbes. And it whistles past the left upright. So she got the power behind it. Sadly, she didn't get the direction. And the Trinidad and Tobago players, all sporting wristband with the colors and the flag of the national flag. Of course, the Trinidad and Tobago celebrated their 56th year of independence on Friday night, the night that they were looking to give the country that beautiful birthday present, but it was not to be. But I'm sure a grateful nation would accept them qualifying for the Concacaf final round, even if they fall short of winning the Caribbean Championship, which they have an opportunity still to do, because Jamaica has 9 points and can If they lose to Cuba, they'll remain at 9. If Trinidad should go on to win this, they'll go to 9, and then goal difference will determine the Caribbean champions. But uppermost in the minds of the Trinidad and Tobago players, I'm sure, is first of all, get the job done. That of qualifying. They're darting down the left, and a chance here for Taylor, who's waiting. Lindo and Hines appearing in the area as well. Francois took a shot flush in the face. It was an attempted clearance. And Dr. Sasha Ferrer has worked tirelessly in the start of this tournament. Let's have a look at it again. There's a clearance here from Lindo. And Francois was right there in the neighborhood and took a hit flush on the face. So Dr. Ferrer has worked her magic before. So many times during this campaign, she's called upon again to do so. And it does seem as if Francois is going to be able to continue. She has to leave the field simply because the doctor entered the field, was given permission to enter the field. It's almost like the stretcher came on. So they're having a conversation. Are you okay? Protect your face the next time. But she had absolutely no control over that. It came really, really quickly. And I'm sure she'll be back on shortly. So Trinidad and Tobago will be back to full complement. We've played 21 minutes. And Trinidad and Tobago, as you see there, leading by a goal to 0. I'm embarrassed to tell you who scored, because you'd say, Wayne, why are you telling me? We know once Trinidad scored, with all due respect to the other players. Well, no question about it, Taylor is just a wonderfully gifted player. And without question, the star of the Trinidad and Tobago team. Here they are looking to put a bit of protection around that 1-goal advantage, and one that would make them a lot more comfortable. The sun has left us a bit. There's a clash. Lindo just keeping out of that one. And you know, Belgrade, who have taken the position of Cunningham, has fitted right in. Cunningham is a little terror at the back. And Belgrave is proving to be the same. Guard that 18-yard area with their lives. This is Dashi Jarrell, who got a double on Friday night, including one from the spot. And Francois is back on the field. But as soon as Francois is back on, Bermuda player is down injured. And now their team doctor, Danielle Richard, has had to go on. You're not seeing her in your picture at the moment. But Danielle Richard is on the field, tending to an injured Bermudan player who is current the deal. They've had a long week. Not only the players, but the referees and all involved in this tournament. Dale walking off with Dr. Richard. She too looks as if she'll be back very soon. In the meantime, we'll get a restart with a throw to Bermuda. Daryl with it. Lindo. She's trying to play in Edwards. Ball instead went to a Trinidad and Tobago player. Now this is Cardinal. Ball took an innocuous bounce and went into the opposite direction. But she's trying to make the best of it by trying to play in Taylor. See if Hines could do much better. No. She gets a throw though. Wonderful shot from Forbes, but Pond lines up behind it brilliantly. Sure you'd have enjoyed the offering that Flow Sports platforms brought to you today. You would have seen the ISTAF athletics meet coming out of the German capital, Berlin. Then you would have seen the 3 Premier League games. As we look at Forbes again with that left-footed effort curling. You'd have seen Manchester United comfortably beating Burnley. Likewise, you would have seen Arsenal having a hell of a game over in the Welsh capital. They eventually beat Cardiff 3-2. And then you would have seen, I suppose, the result of the day. Watford beating Tottenham Hotspur by 2-1 to join Liverpool and Chelsea at the top of the standings with a perfect 4 from 4. Brilliantly done by Cordner. She twists one way, then the next. Still in possession is Cordner. And she's brought Cato into the action. Cato gives it away and immediately apologizes to her teammate. But it's not over yet, because over on Flow Sports 2 later on today, you're going to have the opportunity to see the Major League Soccer game, Wayne Rooney, featuring in the DC United team. They are home to Atlanta United, and that game will come your way at 7:30 in the Eastern Caribbean, 6:30 here in Jamaica, and it's on Flow Sport 2. Lindo getting some attention from Dr. Richard. Players taking the time to refresh themselves and having a chat about it. Sometimes you wonder if it's fatigue, because they've had a real, there was a game every other day, and the teams, all of them, had a day off. Today's Antigua and Barbuda's day off, but it wouldn't matter because they were eliminated from Wednesday night in terms of their inability to make further progress. They did play on Friday, conceding some 25 goals in the tournament. They did not score a goal in the tournament, nor did they pick up a point. Here's King. Cardinal. Here's Francois in the middle of the park. She's been hassled there by Frazzoni, but Francois keeps her footing. And now Cordner. In fact, this is Karen Forbes. Forbes looking for Taylor. Under a bit of pressure there from Waldron, but this is Cardner, pushed off the ball in front of referee Skeet, who says nothing is wrong with that. But Trinidad wins back possession, and they're on the attack once more. Cardner. So Bermuda giving as much as they're getting. This is Lindo flicking the ball forward, looking for Darrell. Very good first touch there from Dashay Darrell, but just didn't manage to keep it under control and allowing Baron to get a good look in. But that was a wonderful piece of football from Bermuda. The pass was good. The first touch wasn't bad, could have been better. Suddenly, Trinidad and Tobago counter-attacking. So it's end-to-end action here at the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica. Bermuda and Trinidad and Tobago. The game is simmering, and the Bermudans, out of the desperation of knowing that they must win to stay alive, are going for it. We've played 28 minutes. Let's have a look at this pass from Lindo, and look at the take from Darrell. Very good first touch. Just needed a bit more to kill it dead. But the ball ran off her left foot to the goalkeeper Baron. Brilliant bit of improvisation there from Lindo. There's a coach, Keita Robinson, right at the foot of the screen there, shouting instructions to her players. Edwards picks out Lindo. Still Lindo. Under a bit of pressure from the Trinidad and Tobago defenders. That's been the Achilles heel for the Bermuda team. When they get into the final third, they lose their heads in terms of their decision. Superville with the ball, but a halt to the game again because Lindo has hit the deck once again. This time, if you look at her facial expression, it tells you that she is in a bit of pain. So she's favoring the left foot. In fact, it's bad enough for the stretcher to be summoned onto the field. So she's going to spend a bit of time off the field, a little longer than the last time she got off. She's unable to walk off on her own this time, so Dr. Richhold will have another look at it when she's taken to the sideline. So for the moment, the Bermudans will have to operate with 10 players. This is a dangerous Taylor. This is your goal scorer. Going down the left channel, she looked up, she spotted Cordner, but she needed to go aerial if that was going to get to Cordner. Trini Edwards motoring forward for Bermuda. She's ganged upon, and Hines took the ball away from her. Nia Christopher trying to apply a bit of pressure to goalkeeper Baron. But here's the efficient Irene King with the ball for Trinidad and Tobago. So the ladies from the Twin Island Republic is trying clearly to put this game to bed very early. Forbes. She's stringing the passes together in the middle of the park. 90% of the time she goes for it long. Here she's again, Forbes. Hines. Looking for Taylor. Taylor looking for Forbes or Cordner. Forbes was the option. Didn't quite get there. And Ferbert comes away for Bermuda. Daryl just lurking around, but King got to it before her. Good work there by Daryl to take the ball off King. Not many can say they've done so in this tournament. So, if you were watching with us on Friday night and you were wondering, we can tell you that Janelle Cunningham and Natasha St. Louis, the captain, who were both taken off on the stretcher and taken to the medical facility for further inspection. Well, they're both back. So, Pia Lindo can take no further part in this competition. And when she hit the deck, if you looked at her facial expression, you could tell that she was in real pain. So they've brought in Jade Stewart to take her place. So forced substitution on Coach Robinson. Cordner. Ferbert. And the throw will go to Trinidad and Tobago. Remind you that coming up at 6 o'clock Jamaica time, 7 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, Jamaica against Cuba. Jamaica, the only team so far assured of a place in the United States for the Concacaf final round. The other two spots are being contested between these two teams along with Cuba. So any two of three can get into the Concacaf final round. We may have to wait until the Jamaica-Cuba game comes to an end tonight to know who will go through. But it's also a possibility that we could know at the end of this game, depending on how it turns out. Baron, always favored to get there ahead of Daryl. Hines and Stewart, who just came onto the field, in a little tussle there. This is Lindo under a bit of pressure, can't turn. Forced to play it over on the left for King. King spreads it further wide to Cato. Trinidad and Tobago making slow progress. There's a captain of the day, King. Cardinal. Still Cardinal. Stopped in her tracks. Right, Trini. Edwards. The sun is back out and blaring into the backs of the players. Again, they've got to pace themselves, and every opportunity at refreshing themselves have been taken up through those stoppages for the number of injuries that we've seen so far. This is Forbes. Cato pushed further wide. Frizzoni. Near Christopher was the target, but King just don't get by this Trinidad and Tobago captain so easily. I say my favorite to be the defender of the tournament. She's so commanding, good head on her shoulders. It does seem as if she commands the respect of the Trinidad and Tobago players. Irene King. So the Bermuda defenders paying closer, much closer attention to Taylor. There's Coach Anton Cornel. Would have been very disappointed with the way the team imploded in the second half against Jamaica. He did say in his post-match comments that they went in with a particular plan and it was working to the T up until the end of the first half. But he said the players became fatigued in the second half and just could not live with the Jamaicans, who are super fit players. And that was his post-game view on the game, and says today they're going to get it right. So far, they've taken a huge step towards getting that right because they've taken the lead. And that lead came on minute number 14 from Kayla Taylor. She's a leading scorer in the tournament with 7, just 1 ahead of Khadija Shaw, who will be appearing tonight for Jamaica against Cuba. So the race for the Golden Boot is also fiercely contested here, and it's a two-horse race, and that has been so from day one. Both of them got hat tricks on the opening day, so they set the standards very, very early. They laid down the hammer, and no one was able to respond. And on the final day, the Golden Boot prize will go down to the wire, with Taylor putting herself ahead today with that goal for Trinidad and Tobago. Free kick here to the Bermuda team. They've thrown players forward. It's a desperate attempt to get back into this game. A powerful Cato. So the 2 sevens clashing on that occasion, Ferbert and Cato. This is it. 2 sevens clash, literally. Here they are again. So they're having their own little contest within this contest. And more often than not, the 7 that is on the back of the white shirt wins out. Taylor keeps possession. He's trying to give the defenders the run around. Even she lost sight of the ball. What's the decision? The decision is a corner to Trinidad and Tobago. Last touch coming off Marley Christian. There she is, the captain of Bermuda. Forbes has run across for a short corner. The Bermudans didn't even pick that up. Now Forbes has a chance to send across over. A chance here for Trinidad. And the goalkeeper, having lost sight of the ball initially, kept the pressure on and made it very, very, very difficult for Belgrave to get a look in. So close shave there for Bermuda. Here it is again. Here's a long ball from Forbes. The goalkeeper caught out there, but had the presence of mind to stick with the player. And Naomi Guerra was the one who advanced Let's see what Cordner has in store. Stewart. Chance for Darrell to run it again, but Baron was there again. She anticipates so very well, Baron, in the Trinidad and Tobago goal. That's what you want from your goalkeepers. Not only to block the shots when they come in, but also to anticipate very well. So, Rhea Belgrave is taking the place of Janelle Cunningham in the heart of the Trinidad and Tobago defense. There's very little difference between herself and Cunningham. They're both efficient defenders. This is Kayla Taylor. She has Forbes away to her right, to her left. Forbes slows the pace of the game down. In fact, she turns it back and is gonna try to get it to Kato. No, Kato runs by and frees the space up for her to bring in Aaron King into the action. King in turn brings Belgrave, then Superville. And that is how they're stroking the ball around Trinidad and Tobago, a bit too confidently, maybe a bit overconfident sometimes. With Darrell, a quick short sprint, putting a bit of pressure on the Trinidad and Tobago defense. And illegally done, says referee. So Darrell is working her socks off for the cause here today. So we're into the last 5 minutes of the first half. And it seemed an almighty long time ago that Taylor bulged the back of the net. The Bermuda net. Baron kicks the ball into touch for a Bermuda throw. Dill. Nia Christopher has been kept quiet this game. He's a player with a great deal of skill. She's been kept out of the game by the smart thinking Trinidad and Tobago players. She can do a great deal if she's left free. And it does seem as if the marking up job on her has been given to Guerra. So Guerra is standing next to Christopher. So the Trinidad and Tobago coaching staff has clearly done its job on this Bermuda team. And they've picked out Nia Christopher for special attention. In the meantime, Skeet is telling Darrell, I'm having a chat with you, don't walk away. What could be the cause of that? Let's have a look. She put the ball between the legs of Francois, but then again her right hand was on the back of the player, almost pulling the shirt. There you go. Guerra standing near to Christopher. It's clear that she has been given the marking duties on her, and no question about Cato's responsibility. It is to take care of Furbert. And once you take those two players out of the equation from the offensive side for Bermuda, it's going to be very difficult for them. Hence, Bermuda has not yet gotten a shot on goal, because Cato and Guerra are doing their jobs. We're in the 43rd minute. Taylor. Cardner. This is Forbes, carrying Forbes. Another long, high ball. There's a central midfield player who sees a lot of the football and whose main job is to distribute the football. So you can't be dealing in so many high, long balls. You've got to put some of it on the floor. Most of the long, high balls have been wayward. So goalkeeper Barron, along with the rest of the defensive setup or the defensive unit for Trinidad and Tobago, has had an easy afternoon so far. Nothing to be alarmed about. Daryl has turned on the afterburners on one or two occasions, and the Pond was a good goalkeeper herself, almost playing the sweeper role there. In the final minute of the 45 in this first half. This is Daryl looking for passing options, and she picks out Akela Ferbert. Ball runs into touch, and it will be a goal kick to Trinidad and Tobago. So that's Kato. When they go to the United States, if they get there, Trinidad and Tobago, or Bermuda for that matter, we'll have 1 minute of additional time. And we're into that additional minute already. So when they get to the United States, whichever team does, along with the Jamaicans, it's going to be very, very difficult because they're going to go up against some of the best teams in the world on the women's front. We're talking about the former two-time champions, the United States, possibly the best known women's football country, if you like, the USA, then Mexico, Costa Rica, Canada. Those are the teams they're going to be seeing, but they'll have a month or so to get ready. Jade Stewart playing out the last remaining seconds of this first half. Fizoni losing possession in the middle of the park, and now Francois. Then Guerra, Francois. And that should be the last bit of action before referee Skeet blows the whistle to signal the end of the first 45 minutes in this game between Trinidad and Tobago and Bermuda here at the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica. Both are battling for a spot in the Concacaf qualifiers in the USA. Trinidad and Tobago need only a draw, so they're half the way there. Bermuda, they must come out in the next 45 minutes and try to get an early goal, then take it from there. But at the moment, it's Trinidad and Tobago with a goal from Kayla Taylor, league-leading seventh of the tournament, having the ladies from the Twin Island Republic up in this game by 1-0. We'll be back with you in the next 45 minutes. By then, it will be time for the second half.
I'm okay though, I think. No. 1 sec.
Welcome back to the National Stadium here in Kingston, Jamaica. It's the second half that we're about to enter into of this penultimate game of the Concacaf Caribbean Women's Qualifiers. And the Trinidad and Tobago team leading this contest over Bermuda by 1-0. A goal on minute number 14 by the tournament's leading goal scorer, Kayla Taylor, with her 7th of the campaign. Bermuda will get us underway. They need to win this game to stay in contention for a spot in the Concacaf final round qualifiers in October in the USA. So we're underway here at the National Stadium for the second half. This, the most important 45 minutes possibly in the history of Bermudan football. They're a young footballing nation, started playing in 2005. But here's Kayla Taylor looking for a second and an 8th. And goalkeeper Pond standing right on the right spot at the right place at the right time. So Bermuda losing possession in the middle of the park once again. Free kick to Trinidad and Tobago. So this is Taylor. Her latest attempt on goal. Decent attempt. But she found a goalkeeper in Pond who has had a good tournament. Chance here for Trinidad and Tobago to go 2-0 up. Pond is down. Let's have a look at what happened here. So Forbes was a player who clashed with Pond there, but not many players on the field would want to go up against Forbes. Easily the biggest player on the field. She's explaining to referee Skeet what might have taken place. So Pond is up as well, so both players are up and able to continue. Now she'll bang this one downfield Pond. It's coming right back at her. But Frazzoni takes possession for Bermuda. No sooner had she taken possession, Cordner came across to do likewise for Trinidad and Tobago, and she still has it. That ball looked as if it had gone across the line. Assistant referee not too far away. But Trinidad and Tobago in the end gets a free kick. It will be struck by Cato. Sunny condition. Very little wind. Ball hanging dangerously. Pond gets it away quickly. Let's see if the level of urgency being displayed by the Bermudan players will intensify, considering they need to win today. Nothing but a win will take them through. A draw would mean they end with 4 points, because they lost to Cuba and they lost to Jamaica. Their only victory came 48 hours ago over Antigua and Barbuda. So 3 points from 3 games. So congested it is at the top of the table. Even 6 points might not take them through. But they still first must get the 6 points. So they need the 3 from this one. Based on the general flow of play, Trinidad and Tobago is in charge and has looked basically untroubled since the start of the game. Frazzoni, one of the players who can do some damage for Bermuda. Hardly in the game for Frazzoni. Just a bit of surprise because she's an ever-present, even when the Bermudans were losing to Jamaica and Cuba. She was one of their standout players. Nia Christopher not showing tonight, not showing this afternoon either. So on possibly the biggest day of their footballing lives, these Bermudans, their biggest players have not really turned up. You've got to match that against the efficiency being displayed here by Trinidad and Tobago as well. This is Taylor. And Cordner stuck out her left foot. Forbes still has it. Now she gets a good cross. And Pond handles it well. So there'll be sort of a close-off at the end of tonight. And Francois getting away in the area. This is Cordner! Well done there by Pond. Ball is still alive. Taylor with the ball for Trinidad. It runs across the face of goal and behind for a goal kick to Bermuda. But Cordner really should have done much, much better there with that one. Trinidad and Tobago should now be leading by 2-0. This is the opportunity that opened up for Cordner right here. Fortuitously, it did for her, and she really should have buried that one. Pond did very little. All she did was to advance, and Cordner almost played the ball on the goalkeeper without her having to do anything. That's one of the, not one of, but the weak area in Cordner's game. She's not able to apply the finishing touches to the many opportunities being presented to her. Not only in this game, it has been a feature of her play since the start of the tournament, and it has followed her right through to the end. This is Belgrave. Hines. She has Taylor in front of her. Taylor darts inside. Can't find a way through. So Bermuda not doing badly in defense. It's just that they're not creating enough opportunities to get back into the game. Francois with a long-range effort. Bounces dangerously in front of the goalkeeper. But importantly, she was behind the ball. Hardly any chance of that one getting into the back of her net. Edwards hassled there by Forbes. So Fubler will take the free kick for Bermuda. Minutes are ticking away. Every second will count here for Bermuda until they get that goal to bring them back into the game. Here's Frazzoni. Daché. Nia Christopher, she needs to spark to life. She can, she has the ability to do so. And she plays the ball into Frazzoni. Does she have the legs to get there? Not quite, it is just behind the white line. Well, the referee says no, it is in. And the Trinidad and Tobago players literally stopped playing. They all thought it went behind. Frazzoni herself wasn't sure if it was behind or not. She too stopped playing. Well, the referee's whistle didn't come. The flag of the assistant referee on the side didn't come. They continued playing. Here's a long-range effort here from Bermuda. And for the first time since the start of the game, we are seeing a shot on goal. And we've waited 54 minutes to see that from Bermuda. It came from Nia Christopher. It's a player who can do the business. She's just not come to the party today. Still has time. This is the latest effort. That one there from Nia Christopher. Scored a peach of a goal from inside the box against Antigua and Barbuda. So what she's capable of is well documented. It's about executing on the day. She's guilty of not so doing. A plane to Taylor. And the Pond It's off her line in a flash. Worst sight for defenders in this competition is to see this young lady bearing down on them. That time, though, Pond was alert and alive to the danger. So, quiet period of play at the moment, with Trinidad and Tobago still asking most of the questions. All the teams departing on Monday back to their respective destinations. Some of them will be heading back very happy, having accomplished the goal. Others, I'm sure, will take the time on the aircraft to reflect on what might have been or what could have been. It's still hanging in the balance, because though Trinidad and Tobago lead this game, Bermuda still in with a chance to qualify. But it's getting more improbable the more the seconds tick away. That can't help. Guerra. King. Now Taylor. Taylor. Still Taylor. Mesmerizing stuff here from the little number 12. A chance for Trinidad to make it 2-0. It wasn't Taylor, but guess what? Cordner has finally got her name on the score sheet for Trinidad and Tobago. The number 19 who worked so well with the number 12. And it was that combination which undid Bermuda just now. And Trinidad and Tobago sailing towards the USA in October. They have taken a commanding lead in this game, but it was mesmerizing stuff. The goal was made by Taylor, finished off by Cordner, and she did so in style. And now the wind's definitely knocked out of the sails of these Bermudians. They now need 3 goals if they're going to stay in contention, not to qualify, but just to remain in contention. And I said that to put into context the enormity of the task that face this Bermuda team. Here they come though, Bermuda. They've put themselves in a very, very, very dangerous position. And as I say, if Trinidad and Tobago qualifies from this game, it means Cuba also qualify, because Bermuda then can't get more than 3 points if they're beaten. Can't get more than 4 if they draw. So Cuba would go along into the final round even before they kick a ball in anger tonight. So that is what a Trinidad and Tobago victory or draw will do to the entire competition. It will settle it. What it will not settle necessarily is the Caribbean champions. That we'll have to wait until the end of tonight to know. The Jamaicans need only a draw to become Caribbean champions. That game, though, is in the distance. What we have now and what we have here is a Trinidad and Tobago team that's threatening to bulldoze their way past this Bermuda team, and they've got a corner as a result of that marauding run from Aaron King from the middle of the park. Goalkeeper Pond called into duty. There it is. It's a left-footed effort from Aaron King, looking to go, as would say in local parlance, in the pigeonhole. Cato with the corner. Decent. So the combination of Cordner and Taylor has threatened on so many occasions against different teams in this tournament. Finally, it came together well there. Even though, if you look at the run by Taylor, it was a situation that the ball got away from her in the final analysis and fell favorably for Cordner as opposed to them working the 1-2 combination. But Trinidad and Tobago will take it. Francois just skipping away from Christopher. This is Taylor. She scored one and made one. Cardinal and Francois. Chance here! And Hines. That was a chance. That was a takeable chance, actually. This is the second goal for Trinidad and Tobago. Taylor, mesmerizing. In fact, it was a telescopic left foot of Nia Christopher that got the ball to Cardinal. This is Darrell. 3-on-1. Pushed further away from the 18-yard area, but she'll get a free kick for Bermuda. So we're on the hour mark. And Bermuda have just about 30 minutes to save their skins. So Darrell pushed away by Cato and eventually pushed down. Goalkeeper Baron just organizing her defense. Not yet happy. Now she's happy. So the three-man Trinidad and Tobago wall pulled back a yard or so by referee Skeet. Trina Edwards standing over it. She needs a good delivery. Didn't get one. They can do it again here. Waldron twice with an opportunity. Here is Ferbert. Good reflex save there from Baron. Trinidad and Tobago desperately getting the ball away. A good reflex save there from Baron. Ferbert with the opportunity to drag Bermuda back into the game, failing to take it. This is Ferbert. Had a good look at Baron's goal. Maybe should have picked her spot. She was all alone, under absolutely no pressure whatsoever. She kicked straight to the goalkeeper. These chances have not come often for the Bermudans. Hence, when they get them, they've got to take them. This is Darrell. She's really played a good game for Bermuda today. Now she commits a foul. Frazzoni has not really touched the heights tonight. .4:25 local time. And here it is, your commentator saying night. Substitution will be made by Trinidad and Tobago in short staff. But we have a restart with Belgrave in possession for TNT. And to be honest, it's not that the Bermudans are not trying. They're really fighting desperately. But Trinidad and Tobago, very tough team to contend with. Pond has gone across, put herself into the situation. Clearance by the Bermudan defense. As far as Hines. Cato. Good opportunity there. Cardinal appearing on the doorstep Actually, it was Francois, and it seems as if Pond, well, she's back up. It looks as if she suffered an injury. But this is Kato charging down the left. It was a good cross. It's a low grounder. And Francois just appearing a shade late. Daryl, easily Bermuda's best player on the day, along with goalkeeper Pond. Christopher. Ferber giving chase, so to Belgrade. Nice watchable game at best. Neither team has really set the place alight. But Trinidad and Tobago doing what they have to do and doing what they need to do. So Francois will be the player substituted. And on goes in her place Natisha John. So Francois can look back at this tournament and say she had a decent tournament, not a great tournament. In that Antigua game in particular, she was really very good. This is Frazzoni. Nicely played ball over. Christopher with a chance for Bermuda. Belgrave put her off. Here's Waldron. Clearly herself and Darrell were not on the same page. I was hoping that Darrell would run onto that one. That pretty much sums up the kind of afternoon. As we look again, this is Christopher. Good first touch, but Belgrave was on, well, she wasn't goal side of Belgrave, and that was where the problem was. Wasn't given a chance to have a shot. And that was her last bit of action because she's been taken off near Christopher in minute 68. And on goes in her place Kayla Bragman. So Bragman on, near Christopher off. Here's Kayla. Goalkeeper Pond advances. The ball trickling towards the goal. And for the second time this afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago saw a shot back off the post. The ball's still alive. And Cordner kicks just past the left upright. But Kayla was in for her 8th goal of the championship. And the right upright intervened. Look at this. She got behind the Bermudan defense, all right. And that one rolled perilously close and eventually back off the right upright. And this was a follow-up. Cordner getting into the two defenders, and a shot went wayward. Really should have done a lot better with that one because she really freed herself of those two defenders and was all alone in the area. Really should have done much better with that one, Kenya Cordner. So Natisha John just came onto the field, already involved in the action. Pond and Hines. Good take there from Daryl. Edwards kicked over in front of the referee's skeet. It's a free kick. We remind you, Bermuda needs 3 unanswered goals in the next 20 minutes. So the 2 Trinidad and Tobago players, Forbes and Cato, sandwiching Edwards there. Birch Waldron with a free kick. Another free kick to Bermuda. Dale, the victim on that occasion. There are a number of blue shirts right across that 18-yard area waiting on this delivery. Similarly, a number of white shirts. So the Trinidad and Tobago defense well organized. Miscued shot. The goalkeeper was going one way and had to immediately take a very slight turn to prevent that going in the back of the net. It would have been very, very unlucky for the Trinidad and Tobago team had that one gone in. Dale shadowing the ball, keeping it away from Hines. So you're watching Concacaf Caribbean Women's Qualifiers. So we have 1 game to go after this one in the tournament. And barring anything unforeseen, then the next 2 spots will go to Trinidad and Tobago, and they'll take along with them Cuba. So the Cubans were in the house already. We'll be happy to know that they've qualified even before kicking a ball. Should settle them a bit. There's another shot coming in from Hines. Karen Forbes is running away from the spot. It's Hines. So the Bermudans have been hit by 2 hammered blows from Trinidad and Tobago's 2 best attackers, Gordon and Taylor, on either side of the half. Darrell, well, it's Waldron to Darrell. And if there's a team of the tournament, then Darrell probably would get into that squad. Nicely played in, and a cutout there. Timely interception. Looks like Guerra. No, it was Belgrave. That one was running straight to Furbert. And her job would have been very easy. Look at this. Cross from Darrell behind King. Furbert would have easily put that one away had it not been for the good work of Belgrave. And at the opposite end, Waldron was called upon to do likewise. So the end of the tournament coming for these 2 teams in another maybe 20 or so minutes. Player, Trinidad and Tobago player, Forbes. She's suffering. Dr. Ferreira, clearly not in any pain. She's having a chat with Taylor. More cramps than anything else. Let's have a look and see what happened here. It was an off-the-ball incident. Here, no one tackling or anything, ball not in play. And she just goes down. trying to bring her back to her feet. The next task is to see if she could stand on her own. Yes, she has. Still not looking or feeling comfortable. She's off for a bit. Yeah, but she's going to be back on for sure. In the meantime, Natisha John has the ball and will effect this throw for Trinidad and Tobago. Substitution is going to be made, no? Coach Anton Cornel having a chat with Belgrave. Now we get the restart. It's one of the Trinidad and Tobago substitute, Natisha John, who just came onto the field maybe some 7 or 8 minutes ago. Holding down the right fullback position. Now, our foot race is on. The first touch from Ferber wasn't the best. And that allowed Belgrave to get a piece of the action. Chance for Bermuda. And now Trinidad and Tobago at the other end. The ball, bouncing innocuously. And John backtracking. And just in time, managing to keep that one out. Would have been a free goal. Here it is again. So Waldron trying to clear the ball and kick the ball on the shin of Taylor. Goalkeeper Pond wasn't expecting that at all. And she had to backtrack. And just in time to keep it out. So Forbes is allowed back onto the field. And Cardinal trying to tee it up there for Taylor. This is it. Look at this. Just trying to clear it. And it hit on the right knee of Taylor. Look at goalkeeper Pond. There you go. And even having done that, it came very, very close to going across the line. But I suppose you could say she was in the end in control. The score stays at 2-0. Taylor Kane. Great deal of running in this game. Here's Cardner, the other goal scorer for Trinidad and Tobago. Hines, confronted by Tail. Still managing to get the cross in. And Pond again, just picking that one out quite easily. Bermuda has only had 2 shots on goal all game. They need 3 goals. So do the math. For 78 minutes, 79. This is the opportunity that came from the right side. It was a cross by Hines. So in 79 minutes, they only had 2 shots in goal. They need to get 3 goals in the next 13 minutes. There you go. So Trinidad and Tobago coming into this game needing a draw to qualify. And I'm sure they'll be very happy for the win because it could still set them up to be Caribbean champions. Because they'd be on 9 points, just like Jamaica. And Jamaica played tonight against Cuba. A heavy Cuban victory would let in Trinidad and Tobago. Which is why they keep going for more goals, because they know it's a possibility, a slim possibility, because the Jamaicans are holding on to a healthy goal differential. They've only conceded 1 goal in the tournament, the Jamaicans, but they've scored 17. Watchful was Barron. So Trinidad and Tobago, they've scored 8, 3, 11. But they conceded heavily. So it's almost done and dusted that Jamaica, if they're beaten tonight, will still go on to be Caribbean champions. They need only a draw to secure that title. But even if they're beaten, they're going to still win the title because they have such a huge goal differential. So we're now into the last 10 minutes of this game. Well, Trinidad and Tobago will qualify for the Concacaf Gold Cup, the Concacaf final round qualifiers. Yes, they do have a Gold Cup for women. Trinidad and Tobago has not done badly in either. But it's for the Concacaf final round World Cup qualifiers that they'll be advancing to from this one. Here's Cordner. Finds Forbes with a long-range pass. Forbes lost it, then won it back. Guerra. Pond. Easy take for her again. Easy does it. So if you look at the body language of the Bermudan players, except for Darrell, who continues to run, she's been running from minute 1, you get the impression they have resigned themselves to their fate because they need 3 goals in 8 minutes, 3 goals in 9 minutes against this Trinidad and Tobago team to stay in contention. Here they come forward, Trinidad and Tobago once more. Taylor with a firm right-footed effort. I tell you what, if the Bermudans were to get 3 goals from here and to win this game, Trinidad and Tobago would still advance ahead of them. In fact, Trinidad and Tobago would advance even if they're beaten right now because of their superior goal difference to this Bermuda team. So it's a lost cause they're chasing at the moment. So Trinidad, we can tell you, they've booked their spot, irrespective of the outcome of this game from here on in, because their goal difference would take them through if they, even if they're beaten by the Bermudans from here on in. Good turn there from John. No one to profit from that. Furbird and Captain Marley Christian leading this Bermudan attack. And sent it over on the far side. But again, Belgrave proving too much for Zoni. And coach Anton Cornel must be a happy man because Janelle Cunningham and Rhea Belgrave. Here's a chance for Taylor, and the whistle went, so that wouldn't have counted had Cordner put it in the back of the net. But coach Anton Cornel must be a happy man because between Janelle Cunningham and Rhea Belgrave, very little between them. They're both efficient defenders. Look at this latest effort here from Taylor. She was trying to go between the goalkeeper and the defender. Maybe she should have gone for an attempt on goal because that wasn't a proper attempt. In fact, it's a free kick just on the edge of the area. How close was that? How close was that? So in her attempt to get between the two players, she was kicked over. And Forbes is standing behind this again. She takes most of the free kicks. This one is no different, and she'll go for power. It's too close for her to get it up and then down. It's not gonna happen. So no question about it. She will go for a big shot. No question about it. And she has the power to do so. Maybe Cordner, with her silky little skills, could try it. But look at this power. And the goalkeeper proved equal to the task. That was a blast from Forbes. A throw to Trinidad and Tobago. John stood firm. A candidate for goalkeeper of the tournament. So predictably, John went for power. Trinidad making another substitution. They're taking off Hines, and replacing her will be Alia Prince. So Prince, we're seeing her for the first time this tournament. She's getting a chance. She has what? 6-7 minutes. And the Bermuda also making a substitution. They're bringing on Dazari Place, and they're taking off Frazzoni. So Eva Frazzoni off. And we're also seeing Plus for the first time in this tournament. Offside. Taylor straight into the offside, and the assistant referee gets a hand. Look at this powerhouse of a shot from Forbes. Well, the goalkeeper stood firmly behind it. Trinidad and Tobago, just like the basketball you'll see in the final moments of it, just playing it out. And the Bermudans already know that they're a beaten team, and from here on it's almost impossible for them to get anything out of this game. So Cuba, Jamaica, and Trinidad and Tobago are the teams who will go to the United States in October to represent the Caribbean. Here's Cordner still. Brilliant little player. Oh! Brilliantly done. Wonderful play there from Cordner. You could see it coming. She has such silky skills, and when given the time and space, she can damage a team. And just now the Bermudans found that out to their detriment. 3-0 to Trinidad and Tobago. The game has been killed off as a contest, and Trinidad and Tobago will be heading back to Port of Spain tomorrow, knowing that they played a wonderful tournament and they've produced some wonderful moments. That's one of them. Magic there from Cordner. Brilliantly done. Trinidad and Tobago, a wonderful performance. And she's skipping away. Seems as if she's injured herself, but that's such small price to pay for that kind of magic. Brilliant. So here they are. Not finished yet. I'm sure they'd like another goal or two. 4-0 and or 5-0 sounds and look better than the 3-0. So they try. Here they are on the edge of the area. And Kato, I thought, missed an opportunity to go for the shot the first time she laid boots on the ball. She took a second touch and the momentum was lost. Cordner again. She's running as hard as she was at the start of the game, and we're in the 89th minute. Fitness level really, really good. So clearance there from the Trinidad and Tobago number 13, Tisha John. This is Jade Stewart. Daryl. And I suppose you could describe this performance from Trinidad and Tobago today as an efficient performance. They didn't really touch the height. They didn't really bring a great deal of excitement in their play today, but they were efficient. They did the right thing, the simple things right. And that's what you want from a football team. You don't want to overexert. Just do what you need to do to get the result. And that is what Trinidad and Tobago has done today. They've produced an efficient performance. And they're good value for this 3-0 lead. They could have scored more, but Bermuda gave it all they could. And when they head back to Hamilton tomorrow, their coach, Nikita Robinson, will have something to work with. One or two good players in this team who can develop into good players. Look at this. Look at this. In fact, the run started a lot longer than that. But the finish, the vision, the audacity to go for it. Look there. You just don't get it any better. And I tell you what, goalkeeper got a touch of it. We have 2 minutes of added time to be played, and we're into the first of those 2 added minutes. But that goal from Cardinal, it had vision, good vision in it. It had good close kills in it. And it had good awareness in it as well, because she was aware of where the goalkeeper was, and she had to time the shot. It had everything about it. Definitely one of the best goals of the tournament. And no one should be surprised that Cardinal produced that bit of magic, because she threatened it in the Antigua game and at different points in the Jamaica game as well. And today she's been superb. She's been running tirelessly. She has been linking up well with Taylor. But now she decided to take that bit of moment for herself. And what a moment it was. So we're in the final minute of this game. So Trinidad and Tobago will move to 9 points. The same as Jamaica. But the Jamaicans' goal difference is so huge. You want to think it is just almost impossible to overhaul that. So even if the Jamaicans are beaten, I can't see Cuba beating the Jamaicans. First of all, they've got to wipe out that huge goal difference. And nothing is impossible in football, but that comes closest to as impossible as you'll get it. So the Jamaicans on course to being crowned Caribbean champions, but the Trinidad and Tobago team will follow them along with Cuba to the US in October. Here's Cardinal. Does she have one bit of sting in the tail for us? It does seem so, because she plays it over to Taylor. That could very well be the last bit of action. In fact, it is. Trinidad and Tobago winning by 3-0. And to the very last second, the leading scorer in the tournament had an opportunity to make it 8 goals this campaign, but she stumbled. Legs got stuck in the ground, and the opportunity missed. But Trinidad and Tobago are winners by 3-0. Number 12 and number 19, terrors. They mesmerized defenders and put a lot of pressure on teams this tournament. And an efficient performance. Well tried, Bermuda. Well done, Trinidad and Tobago. They've come to the end of a difficult week in which they had to play a game every other day, except for the day that they were given off. And they can't wait, I'm sure, to get home to get some rest. But the rest will not be long, because they have to think immediately of getting themselves ready to travel to the United States for sterner tests. But at the moment, they are winners by 3-0, Trinidad and Tobago. So we're going to break away from you for another hour or so, because coming up a little later on, 7 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, 6 o'clock here in Jamaica, it will be Jamaica versus Cuba. We must confirm, though, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica and Cuba are the teams going through. Join us again just minutes before 7 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, minutes before 6 o'clock Jamaica time, for the build-up to the Jamaica versus Cuba game.